Hey guys, and welcome to Freckle Finance. As I said in my last video, this video is going to be on a recommended budget. And this is not a budget that's going to work for everyone. It's definitely you're going to have to assess and see what's really important to you and what really works, because it's going to be different in different areas of Canada or different areas of the world because different costs of living of different items. So on we go. The first category is housing. Now, if you're renting, this is very simple. It includes your rent and your utilities if you pay them. It gets a little more complicated if you own a house, because if you own a house, this includes your mortgage, your utility costs, your insurance, your maintenance, your property tax, and any other things that would go towards the house that you have to do. It can be a little hard to determine how much you should really be budgeting every month for maintenance costs. The general rule of thumb is 1 to 4%. So for a house that is $450,000, which is about the average house in Canada, that's going to be about $370 a month. This needs to be worked into your budget because things will happen to your house and that will need to be repaired. You know, it could be a small thing like patching a hole, but after decades in your house, there's going to be bigger repairs like your roof, and you're not going to be able to come up with the $5,000 or more that it's going to cost to fix your roof. And you'll likely go into debt if you don't have an allocation for this. And you really don't want to go into debt for those kind of things. I do want to reemphasize that this is because over the long period of time, there will be a lot of repairs on your house. So don't think that because you haven't had any really expensive repairs in a few years, that none will come, because there will be big repairs. It's part of owning a house. So the percentage that you don't want to be spending over on a house is 35%. You don't want to spend more than 35% on housing in this recommendation. The next category is transportation. So this can include everything from your car payments, your insurance, your maintenance on your car, your gas, and any transit that you take. Now, if you don't have 15% that you're spending on your vehicle because maybe you're taking public transit, maybe you bike to work or walk to work, and you don't really have a car, this can be added into another category. This could be added into your housing category if you live in a major city and the cost of renting or buying a house is so expensive that you basically have to use 50%. But between those two categories, you should definitely not be going over 50%. Now the next two sections is 10% for saving and 15% for debt repayment. Now I'm adding these two as a category together because I don't quite agree with this recommendation. I think if you have debt, after you have maybe a small emergency fund of $1,000 or so, you should be focusing all your money onto debt repayment. So I would say to put the 25% together and make that debt repayment. After you've paid off all your debt, my recommendation would be that you spend the 25% and put that all towards saving and long-term investing. If you never had the debt in the first place, I still make that as a recommendation. Those categories should kind of be one category because 10% savings to me doesn't really seem like enough. As well, with the debt and savings category, you want to keep in mind that when you're paying off debt, your interest rates that you're paying are actually higher than what you will make in any savings or investing account. Now, it's not always true, but it's almost always true. So you want to definitely focus on paying off debt because in the long run, you get more money out of it. As well, I want to point out that if you've spent all this time at 25% a month to pay off your debt, you probably won't miss that money anyways, and you don't need to add that into another category. You can just add that into savings. The next category is life, and that includes everything else. Clothing, childcare costs, groceries, just any other money you would be spending a month on anything else. Should not exceed 25%. And really, if you're making enough money or you're good with less spending on all that other stuff, you can even add even more money to savings. So I want to give you an example from the median Canadian family income. Now this is just a number I pulled off the StatsCan website, which says that the median Canadian income, and this is based off 2012 because there hasn't been anything recently, is $75,000. And my assumption is going to be that there are two individuals working and they're making the exact same money. So in this scenario, their net income is, in Ontario anyways, is going to be about $4,950. So for this family, this average family, it's recommended that they should not be spending more than $1,730 on housing costs. For this typical family, they shouldn't be spending more than $750 on transportation, and that's for two people in this scenario. So that's really seems like a hard one for most of you probably. For the savings and debt category, that would be $1,240. Now, keep in mind that you want your debt to be at zero. You don't want to have debt. So really you want to be spending that full amount that you can on debt. If you don't have debt, you want to be saving that full amount to savings. And the life category being the same will be $1,240 a month on spending for all that other stuff. And I imagine if you have a kid, you're thinking, how am I going to do childcare and groceries in that money? Now, as you can see from this median family income, this is not a one-size-fits-all recommendation. This depends on whether you have kids, are you single, everything like that. This is stuff that you're going to have to evaluate and really look at but the thing is, the important thing is you have to take this from somewhere else. If you don't have it in one section, it needs to be taken from another. And hopefully you are not taking it from the debt repayment section, because that part should be paid off as soon as possible. An example on how this budget could be different is my boyfriend and we don't own a car. I have minimal transit costs compared to the ratio amounts. So really, we put that money towards savings instead of adding that into a transportation and just buying a car or anything. But that's also because for us, it's very important to retire early or at least be financially independent, because we don't really know what the future holds for us. If you find these topics interesting and you want to know more, click subscribe, as I will be uploading videos regularly. Have a good day. Bye!